Very good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, ma'am. Thank you for asking. And what about you? How are you doing?
I'm also doing superbly well. Thank you so much,
Nice,
Subhash.
nice to hear that.
Right. And how has your day been so far?
My day been, yeah, it was quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Though it is a daily routine,
Mm-hmm.
there was nothing happen unusual. It was okay.
It was a routine day for you?
Yes, right.
All right. All right. Okay. So, Subhash, what the takeaways that you took from the last session, did you try to implement it in your day-to-day life?
No, ma'am. I remember what you told me. No such thing also came across.
Mm-hmm.
So till now, it is. I have not tried.
Till now, it is the same.
Same.
All right, all right. So probably I wish that situations comes across you and you start implementing those feedbacks or maybe advices that I've given you there.
Yes.
Okay. So Subhash, are you aware of today's topic that we're going to discuss?
Yes. I have seen the notes that it's about risk.
Yeah, it's about risk. All right. So when I talk about risk, are you like comfortable with this? Do you want to take forward the conversation related to the topic, Subhash?
Yes. Definitely. I would like to.
Okay. All right. So when I talk about the word risk, is it a
Yeah.
positive word for you or is it a negative word for you?
For me, it's a negative word because I am always afraid of taking risks. So
Mm-hmm.
I am not very much comfortable with this word.
You're not very much comfortable with this word. Why are
Yeah,
you
when
afraid
there.
of taking risk?
Oh, that's a very good question. But the thing is that the our mindset differs from person to person. So in my case, I am a bit of a kind of pessimistic. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever I think that if I have to take these risks, the result
Mm-hmm.
may not be in my favor, and I may suffer some loss. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I always afraid of taking risks.
So, like, if I talk about your past experiences, Subhash, okay, a
Yeah.
person builds their opinion after a certain incident that happens in their life. So, did you come across any incident in your life, maybe in your past, which is where you took a risk and that didn't came out fruitful for you, and that is why you're not very comfortable with taking risk?
As I already told you that I am not very much comfortable with taking risks, so took uh, I never took risks, which was very risky.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I can share with you that it was around 2008, I think. I took risk in buying some stock in from the stock market.
Okay.
So so I have suffered loss in those days. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a risky adventure that I oh, embraced that one. So it did not
Mm-hmm.
go well. That one only I can share with you. There is no other thing that I did risky thing.
Other than that, there's nothing risky that you have done so far in your
Yes,
life, apart from
yes.
purchasing shares and it didn't went off well for you.
Yes, right.
Okay, all right. So, but then for a lot of people, Subhash, risk is a positive word, and they find that if they talk about risk, things turn out to be very fruitful for them. So, how much do you agree with this? And if you do agree, then why? For a lot of people,
Because
I'm not talking about
yeah,
you.
yeah,
For,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, I think uh, as I told you that I am not a person who likes to take risks, but I agree with you that
Mhm.
yeah, because where there is a risk, there is reward also. So until
Yes.
and unless you take the risk, you will not get this reward. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to you have to take the plunge when there is such occasion in order
Mm-hmm.
to get whatever you want to achieve. So
Mm-hmm.
those people who are not taking risks, they are lagging behind, they don't get anything out of it.
They are very comfortable with their routine incomes and with their routine patterns that they.
Yeah, and they will stay put in such a situation. They will never grow, I think.
Yeah, their growth is going to be a little bit of restricted, like it will be a
Yeah.
kind of a stagnant kind of a progress that they'll follow for themselves, of course.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
is where risk taking is something which is positive, if I talk about myself. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
yes, because risk is something like you mentioned comes with a reward. Okay,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
reward can be positive. It is always
Yes.
positive. If it's a
Yes. Yes.
loss, it's a learning. If
Yes.
it's a profit, it's a good thing, right? So either ways, if I talk about the reward, it is positive. Whether I'm losing something which gives me something as a learning that I won't be doing this going forward in my life, and if it's a profit, then obviously it's a profit for me. So
Yeah.
that is.
So if we don't take the chance, how would it know how it would go until I
Mhm.
take the chance?
Yes, until
Yes.
unless you won't put your hands into it, then how would you understand that, the tree is going to go forward or the tree is going to die at that point of time? Right. So, like, can you give me certain advantages of taking risk? Some advantages
Advan-
that you have it in you. Okay, let me talk about disadvantages first because you are not a risk taker. So, I must talk something which is in your favor. So, are there any disadvantages of taking risk,
The
Subhash?
only disadvantage, I think, is that you are going to suffer some loss in terms of money, or if you suffer loss money, that is okay. In some cases, you may, I don't know how to explain it, but in some
Mm-hmm.
cases, it may so happen that you may lose your credibility. The people that around you may not believe you, may not have that
Yes.
confidence in you because you
Mm-hmm.
have taken a chance and you have failed. So next time
Yes.
when you try to convince them, they will not be sure about you. They will not believe you that you can do it. So that
Yes.
are the things that you are taking the risk.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Probably your
gain,
your goodwill will be affected.
yes, yes, that is true.
Okay.
And when it comes to advantages, yes, when you are taking risks, there is a great chance to you achieve something which the common people may not get.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take risks and you have achieved, or the result is has gone in your favor, then that will boost your confidence and you will be able to take more risks in future, and people around you will take you as a person who is worth taking risk, and he has the credibility to take risk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they will come to you, and some people may come to you for taking advice from you how to go about,
Yeah.
suppose taking some new business also. Because when we start new business, there is a loss, there is a fear of loss, losing your capital.
Okay.
So, but you have to take the risk. Until unless you take the risk, again the same thing. The
Mm-hmm.
business, how can you run the business?
Right. Okay. So if I don't talk about monetary things, if I don't talk about money, Subhash,
No.
okay. Of course, risk. When I talk about risk, the first thing that clutches my mind is money, is capital. Okay. But then if I don't relate it with money and if I relate it with something unusual, maybe an activity, maybe an adventure for that matter, maybe something related to your health. So how do you relate risk with these factors? Forget about money, forget about capital.
There are some risks I think we should not take. Suppose we have heard a lot about these people taking selfie in a precarious position and they have lost their lives. I don't think these risks, taking of this kind of risks is worthy enough to take.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
What you
mm-hmm.
are going to get? You are taking selfie from the top of a bridge and you may suddenly from there and you lose your uh, life. So I
Yeah.
don't like these things. What? taking risk. But in some cases, suppose somebody is in danger and you can save that person taking risk,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take, and if you take the risk, you can help that person to get
Mm-hmm.
his life back. So
Mm-hmm.
these risks are very good to
Mm-hmm.
take.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you're saving somebody's life for an instant, that is something which is a positive risk for you. But then if you're taking pictures like you mentioned in an unusual situations and in an unusual place, that might be not very fruitful. Of course, you might take it at the cost of your life there. Okay.
Yeah, you might have seen this. The people are making reels, taking
Yes.
that from a running train. They are
Mm-hmm.
dangling outside the window of a running train, and just to get some views, to make it viral, they are taking this kind of risk. But this is not good. This is not fair. But on the
Yes.
other hand, I can give you another example that you might have seen. That one video went viral. That one boy, small boy, fell from the platform of a railway station to the track, and immediately from the opposite on the track, running
Mm-hmm.
train was coming, and a
Mm-hmm.
person ran to that boy and saved him.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow he could save him and save himself also. So that risk was very, what to say, a divine kind
Yes.
of work he did. Yeah.
Yes, that was something which was worth taking because
Yes.
it saved a life, of course. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Subhash, do you know any person wherein maybe a friend of yours or maybe a relative of yours who is very fond of taking risks? Because we do have some people in our families or in our friend circle who are very fond of taking risk. So, do you have any such character?
No, I can say I don't remember of such kind of thing taking risk, but one major incident happened. Uh, One of my colleagues' brother-in-law, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he was an employee of a refinery here in Assam. That is Big
Okay.
Boy Refinery.
Mm-hmm.
So once he was on duty, and he saw that there is some leaks, and from this leaks, this gas or something that was leaking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it was a very dangerous situation,
Mm-hmm.
and he knew that if it caught fire, then the whole neighborhood will gut it in fire. So he took the risk,
Okay.
and the people around him, they did not dare to do this, but he took the risk. But ultimately, he had to lost his life. But yeah, his intention,
He had to lose his life.
he had to lose his life. But ultimately what happened, that his intention was very good, that in order to save others life he took that risk. So
All
that
right.
one incident I remember, that was a very serious one. Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, I don't remember anything that
Okay. All right. And if I take you back in your teens, like when you were a teenager or when you were a person in your college days, at that point
Mhm.
of time, did you took any kind of risk? Maybe a pranky risk, not a very healthy, not a very heavy risk, of course, including capital or money, but then any kind of risk wherein you,
Yeah,
where, yeah.
one thing I can share with you. It was I think I was studying in class 10,
Mm-hmm.
and there was another boy, another classmate of mine. So we used to uh, leave school
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of uh, a class. Just suppose there is a class that we are not very
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with. The teacher will ask our question. We are not prepared to give answer to those questions. So what we did, sometimes we left class and come back after the period is over. So one day we went out from the school and went to the river.
Okay.
So, and there was a boat, and we
Mm-hmm.
both boarded on the boat and tried to, uh, what to say, try to
You were boeing
uh,
it?
Yeah, rowing. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we try to rowing it and with a long bamboo stick.
Mm-hmm.
And for some time, yeah, we did. But later, when now I feel that it was a very risky thing that we did because none of us knew swimming, and there was nobody
Oh,
around. That if we
okay.
fell on
Okay.
the river, nobody was
In the
there
river.
around to help in the river.
Well,
So there was
yeah.
nobody in the nearby that could help us. So there was
Mm-hmm.
a risky thing that we did. But at the time, this young age, we are not afraid of doing
Yes.
such things.
We don't think a lot at that point of time. Our mind is very fragile for the matter that we just think about that what can give us more happiness or what can give us more.
And one more thing I remember now,
Mm-hmm.
on the same river, on the
Mm-hmm.
same river, the railway bridge. So
Mm-hmm.
I was going on a train, and when the train was over the bridge, and there was no barricade or what to say, it was
Mm-hmm.
simple the track only.
Okay, there wasn't any railing or any support there.
Yeah, yeah, no railing. Yes, yes.
All right. All right.
So what I
Mm-hmm.
what I did just as a um, adventure. I on the running train, I came out from the door and tried and went from one compartment to the another compartment
Oh God.
outside the bogie dangling like this. So that was again a very risky thing I did.
How old were you when you did this stunt?
It
Deadly
was
stunt,
around
I would
say
say.
12 years, 13 years maybe. And very often we
You were
had
at the age
some,
of 12 years and 13 years at that point of time? You were at the age
yes,
of 12 years?
yes, 12, 13 maybe, hardly. Because at the time I was studying in 7 or 8, so far I remember.
Oh God.
And there are two or three boys that we like to get down from the train in running condition. And again, we try to board on a train when the
Mm-hmm.
train is in a running condition.
Mm-hmm.
We used to
Yeah,
do
that,
this.
that is something which a lot of people do, but then of course you should not be doing it because it's very risky. Right?
Yeah.
You don't know the uncertainty with what might be in store for you there, so you should not be doing it, of course.
But the age is like that, no, man. At that time, we are not afraid of doing those things. But now, when I think, oh my God, we did it, I cannot think of doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, you see that we used to climb on a tree, high, long tree. But now
Mm-hmm.
I cannot think of doing that.
Yes, of course, of course. Like I mentioned, teens is an age where there's a lot of adventure and where there's a lot of energy as well. So both the things
Yeah.
go simultaneously with each other. Okay, so
Yeah.
one last and a quick question there, Subhash, for you that going forward in your life, is there any risk which you would like to take for yourself? Maybe professional, maybe personal, which you might have it in your mind and in your heart, but then you're afraid of taking it. Is there any kind of risk? Is there any kind of adventure that you would want to do?
No such kind of adventure. But again, I'm going to involve myself fully in stock market. That is in my mind. So after few months, I'm going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
So then I will have enough time, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I will spend my time trading in the stock market. So
So
that will be a very good.
do you have the knowledge of stock market? Because like you mentioned, you did it once prior as well. So do you have enough knowledge of that stock market?
No. When I suffered a loss, at that
Mm-hmm.
time I did not have any knowledge, and whatever I did without any knowledge. So it was happened for that only that I suffered a huge loss.
It
But
happened
now
because of that.
also,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, when I do this, I study before doing this. The company that I am buying share for which company, how it
Mm-hmm.
is, the financial status, and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I am thinking, I will join a class also, the offline
Mm-hmm.
class.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a. I also visited one institute recently, and they of teach.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I will
They're
join that,
related
and
to stock?
after yes. So,
Okay.
so and I will do this seriously after taking these classes and learning something about it. Then only I'll do.
Okay. Okay, so you are very much interested into stock, and that is where you want to take that risk once again in your life.
Yes, not in a very risk. I mean, large, in a very big way.
Mm-hmm.
I will take the risk in a calculated risk.
In a calculated manner.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a term also when they teach us these things.
Mm-hmm.
One course is like that, risk management.
Risk
That
management. Yes.
they teach about risk management also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they're going to teach you about the important points that you should keep in mind while taking risk, probably what study you should be doing it, and how you should be dealing if in case you're failing for that matter. So all this is called. These are the topics which are covered under risk management, Subhash.
Yes,
So yes,
and
I really.
they
Mm-hmm.
use this term actually that 1:2 risks or 1:3 risks. That
Uh-huh.
means that
The
you have a
ratio,
chance to lose. Yeah,
the
ratio. You have a
probability, right?
chance. You have a chance to lose one, and you have a chance to get reward three, like that.
Right, right. So yes, the probability of for failing and the probability of getting profits is something which is higher when you take risk, of course.
Mm.
Okay, so that's really nice of understanding your idea about risk, and it was a well uh, constructed conversation, I would say, Subhash. Today there was a change that I saw in you, wherein I just saw you using your hand movements when you were having a conversation.
Nowadays,
Yes.
I'm doing it more.
Yes. So that is somewhere down the line where I related with your conversation even better. Of course, it made you look very much into the conversation. So that was a positive transition that I saw in the previous session and the session that I'm taking today. Of course,
Mhm.
yes, you do get stuck with your sentences a
Yeah,
lot of
it is
times.
there. Hmm.
Vocabulary is pretty basic at present, so we need to upgrade that part as well.
Yes.
Okay, so this is something simultaneously, and then again, very major thing that I'm coming across is the MTI effect, Subhash, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yeah.
these are the pointers which I really want you to work on, Subhash. Okay, like I mentioned in the previous class as well, that grammar is not a big problem for you. It doesn't seems like so. You are good when you are answering in terms of grammar. You think and you construct your sentences, which is going good. But then yes, basic vocabulary and MTI effect, where I'm talking about, this is something which is affecting your communication skills. So, how are you planning to work on these two areas, Subhash?
Yes, this MTI effect, even the other day I was taking a class with another tutor. She also
Mm-hmm.
mentioned about this, particularly this MTI thing. And then I asked her how to get rid of this MTI effect. Then she told me that you cannot uh, uh, eliminate it fully, but
Mm-hmm.
you can it minimize it. And
It
the
can be
way
improvised. Yeah.
yeah. So I asked her, how can I improve on that? Then she told
Mm-hmm.
me that you have to watch these English videos or etc. And
Mm-hmm.
then you follow how they pronounce it and try to imitate, try to repeat it. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
can improve. So I was given this suggestion. So I will try. And
Yes,
what
of
do you
course.
say? How can I improve that one?
Of course. See, when I'm talking about my experience of training candidates in terms of MTI, of course, listening to things is a very good help, and reading things is also a very good help. But then I urge them to understand their communication well. And that is where the words that you are making mistakes in, like when you say conversation, when you say English, when you say issues, these are the generic words which we use in our day to day conversations where you're making mistakes,
Hmm.
right? So I really want you to make a list of search words that you might use in your day to day conversations and try and repeat them very oftenly when you're talking, Subhash. Okay?
Hmm.
Surely with
Hmm.
correct pronunciation. Google is a great help for that. You can type the word and you can see that mic and you can go to the translation there as
Hmm.
well. So you'll
Yeah.
hear the right translation and try to say that word, not twice, not thrice, 4 or 5 times, and do it on a repeated note. I mean, not just a day or not just once
Mm.
in a week, but do it on a repeated note. So probably that can help you out more, Subhash. Okay,
Yes.
because
Yes. Yes.
until unless you are going to speak it from your own self, that will not start inculcating in your conversation. So this is
Yeah.
something which I personally tell my candidates to do, and it helps them a lot to an extent because you know the words that you're making wrong pronunciation, right? So probably
Yeah.
when you'll watch back this session, you will also come across a lot of words which you pronounce wrongly. So
Yeah.
make a
Yeah. Yeah.
point to write them down, right?
Yes.
And that is where
Mm-hmm.
try to get right pronunciation of them and try to repeat those words twice or thrice every day. Try to use them in your conversation every day, which is going to help you a lot, Subhash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. So is there anything else, Subhash, that you would want to say before we finally wrap up today, the session?
No, it's okay, ma'am. So whatever advice that you have given, I have to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I don't have anything to ask you.
Okay. All right. But then the best part is that I'm seeing that you are working on your nonverbal communication very well. Your smiles and your hand movements and the comfort level when you're giving your answers, this is making you look a little more comfortable and confident as
No, it
compared to the
depends
previous session.
on. It is not a one-sided game, ma'am. It depends on
Mm-hmm.
the tutors also, because there are
Mm-hmm.
some tutors who are very kind of, I mean, very serious in nature. So
Okay.
in
Mm-hmm.
that case, you cannot do. I mean, that I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So when the teacher is also wearing a smile on her face,
Mm-hmm.
so it
Mm-hmm.
makes her comfortable, and we also become like
All
that.
right. It's a dual traffic for you then. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Right. So, but then keep this part up, Subhash. It really makes you look very comfortable and confident with the conversation there. Right?
yeah,
All right. So,
yeah.
I'll be looking forward for more sessions with you like this, Subhash. Till then, keep speaking and keep
Yes,
practicing as well.
yes, yes. Next time I will meet you after my trip. I
Mm-hmm.
am going to visit Rajasthan in the next week.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after coming back, there will be a lot of things to share with you.
Happy and a safe journey there, Subhash, of course.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, then, Subhash. So, we'll be meeting up after a couple of days there after your journey.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, then. Bye bye. Take care, Subhash.
Bye. Good night,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Good night. Take care.